Welcome to The Big Story. I'm Dylan Ang, coming to you live from the Straits Times newsroom. This just in, the Health Ministry has tracked down the source of infection for Singapore's biggest coronavirus cluster at Grace Assembly of God. The cluster is linked to two Wuhan travellers who also attended the Life Church and Mission Singapore on January 19th, the same day they arrived here. Both church clusters are linked to a Chinese New Year gathering. The mystery behind the linkages was solved using a new test that is able to detect infections even in recovered patients.
For the cluster at the Life Church and Mission, we have established earlier that the source of the infection probably came from a couple from Wuhan. These are cases 8 and 9 who attended the service at the church. For the Grace Assembly of God Church cluster, we have established that case 66 is probably the primary case of the cluster because he was the earliest that showed symptoms among the cluster. But we could not determine the source of his infection. Further investigation later on established that he had a Chinese New Year gathering which included two persons, namely cases 83 and 91. Case 91 will be announced later today, who in fact attended the Life Church and Mission on 19th January, the same day as the couple from Wuhan. We could not establish the link initially as both cases 83 and 91 were not ill during the investigation. However, further investigation showed that they were unwell previously. Subsequently, serological tests confirmed that they had been infected with COVID-19. Hence, the link was established.
Multimedia correspondent Yeo Sam Jo is standing by at the Ministry of Communications and Information. Hi Sam Jo, what else can you tell us?
Hi Dylan. Yes, the Ministry of Health has just uncovered the mystery link between two local church clusters. Of course, the churches I'm talking about are Life Church and Mission Singapore as well as Grace Assembly of God. This link, which involves case 66 as well as new case 91, was established with the help of police and researchers from Daegu and US Medical School via a serological test. Now, to tell us more all about this, I have with me journalist Timothy Goh, who has been covering this outbreak right from the get-go. Hi, Timothy.
Hi.
All right, so tell us more about this mystery link that has just been uncovered, right? Can you tell us how exactly are the two local church clusters linked?
So it all begins, if you remember, with cases 8 and 9 now. These were a pair from Wuhan who visited Life Church and Mission service on the 19th of January this year. At the same service was case 91, the latest case announced today. Case 91 went on from that service to attend a Chinese New Year gathering at Mei Huan Drive. You may remember this is another big cluster of cases. This gathering took place on 25th of January this year, and at this Chinese New Year gathering was case number 66. Case 66 is a 28-year-old male who happened to be the first case in the Grace Assembly of God cluster as well. So it's basically that the pair from Wuhan went to a service, infected case 91, who went to the Chinese New Year gathering, infected case 66, who then went to Grace Assembly of God. At Grace Assembly of God, case 66 then went on to attend a staff devotion meeting on the 29th of January, a staff devotion meeting on the 5th of February, where they infected several other staff from the church, and then these staff subsequently went on to a prayer meeting on the 5th of February and infected the congregation there. So that's how this big cluster happened.
Right, so basically one church, Chinese New Year gathering, then another church.
That's right.
All right, so can you tell us why is the fact that we've established these linkages, right? How is this important, and what does it mean for contact tracing and the outbreak situation in Singapore?
Well, it's actually very good news, something that we should be proud of, because it means that there is no longer a mystery source of infection between these two clusters. Now, previously, we hadn't really known what the links between the two clusters were, or where the first Grace Assembly of God patient had, gotten his infection from. But now that we can see there are links between the two, we can rest assured that there isn't a mystery spreader out there still carrying the virus and still infecting people. So it's good news for us in Singapore.
That's good to know. Finally, some good news. Also, this link was established, very importantly, via a serological test. Now, for those of us at home who don't know what a serological test is, what exactly is it? And can you tell us, how exactly does it work?
So I think many of us may be familiar with the common test for the virus, which is the PCR test. Now, in that case, what they do is they take swabs and it detects whether the virus is still present in your genetic material. unfortunately, this conventional method of testing only works if you are still infected with the virus. Now, in the case of case 91, however, she was only discovered much later on when the virus would have already left her body. So in this case, the serological test, which looks at the antibodies in a person, was necessary to determine whether she had in fact been infected by the virus. What happens is when you are infected with the virus, your body produces things called antibodies, which fight off the virus, and these antibodies stay in your body for the rest, for years from then on. And so, even though the PCR test may not be able to swab you and pick up any virus in your genetic material after you've recovered, the serological test can still detect the presence of the antibodies in your body, which mean that you have fought the infection and you have been infected with it before. Yeah.
Okay, so antibodies will stay in your body for years. So that means, can you be infected again with the same virus?
Yes. So this is quite a common concern these days, and the answer is technically yes. You can be reinfected with the same virus, but the antibodies will fight it off, and it shouldn't have any ill effects on you or very mild effects. And during this time, you shouldn't be able to spread it to others, as far as I understand.
Okay, thank you so much, Tim, for explaining everything. And finally, the mystery between the linkages between these two clusters solved. So that's all I have for you. I'm Sam Jo. Back to you in the studio, Dylan.
Well, thanks, Sam Jo. That was Multimedia correspondent Yeo Sam Jo, as well as journalist Timothy Goh, reporting live from the National Press Centre at the Ministry of Communications and Information. The Multi-Ministry Coronavirus Task Force also announced one more confirmed case, bringing the total number of infections to 91 cases. 58 patients have been discharged, including 5 over the last 24 hours, but 7 patients are in critical condition. And from 11:59 p.m. Wednesday night, there will be no entry or transit through Singapore for all new short-term visitors with a recent travel history to Daegu and Cheongdo in South Korea in the last 14 days. Returning residents and long-term pass holders with a recent travel history to the two places will be issued with a stay-home notice. And that's your update on the coronavirus situation in Singapore. Find out the latest on straitstimes.com. I'm Dylan Ang. Thanks for watching. Good night.